Leave and never return. What happened 5 minutes later? I will never forget that Christmas dinner. The table was shining, candles were lit, music was playing softly in the background, and the house smelled like roasted chicken, cinnamon, and sweet pie. Everyone looked happy on the outside. My parents, my older sister, my uncle, my aunt, all smiling, talking, pretending like everything was perfect. But nothing was perfect. I was only 8 years old. I sat quietly next to my mother, feet dangling off the chair because I was too small to touch the floor. I remember holding my glass of juice carefully, trying not to spill it. My little heart felt warm because it was Christmas, and I believed miracles happened on this day. My father was laughing loudly, telling stories about his job. My mother kept adjusting her necklace, avoiding my eyes. My sister rolled her eyes whenever I spoke. Then, something changed. It started with a simple argument. My uncle asked my father, "So, are you still struggling with money?" The room went silent. My father's smile disappeared instantly. He looked angry, really angry. My mother slammed her fork on the plate. Then she turned to me. Her voice was cold. She said, "You are the reason our life is difficult." I froze. At 8 years old, I didn't even understand what that meant. Before I could speak, my father stood up. He pointed toward the door and said in a loud, harsh voice, "Leave and never return." I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. My sister gasped. My aunt covered her mouth. I didn't cry right away. I just stared at my parents, hoping they were joking. Then my mother said it again, this time louder. "Take your bag and go. We don't want you here anymore." Something inside me broke. I grabbed my small backpack, the one with a cartoon lion on it, and slowly walked toward the door. My legs felt weak, my hands were shaking, and my chest hurt like I couldn't breathe. No one stopped me. No one said, "Wait." No one said, "It's just a joke." I opened the door. Cold wind hit my face. Snow was falling lightly. I stepped outside, alone. 5 minutes later, the door slammed shut behind me. I stood on the porch, staring at the empty street, not knowing where to go. My tears finally started falling. They rolled down my cheeks and froze slightly because of the cold. Then something strange happened. A black car slowly pulled up in front of the house. A man stepped out. He was tall, wearing a long coat and holding a small gift box. He looked at me and said gently, "Are you okay, kid?" I shook my head. He asked, "Why are you outside alone on Christmas?" With a trembling voice, I told him everything. How my parents told me to leave, how they didn't want me anymore, how I had nowhere to go. The man sighed deeply. Then he said something that changed my life forever. He said, "Your father owes me money." My heart stopped. He explained that my parents had borrowed a huge amount from him years ago and never paid it back. They had been lying to everyone, pretending to be rich while drowning in debt. He looked at the house and then back at me. Then he knelt down and said softly, "I don't punish children for their parents' mistakes." Instead of leaving me there, he took me to a warm cafe, bought me hot chocolate, and let me sit by the heater. He didn't treat me like a burden. He treated me like a human being. That night, he made one decision that would change everything. He took me with him, not as a stranger, not as a victim, but as someone who deserved a second chance. Over the next few years, he became like a guardian to me. He didn't replace my parents, but he showed me kindness they never did. He helped me study, gave me discipline, and most importantly, taught me how to be strong. Meanwhile, my parents' life began falling apart. Their lies caught up with them. They lost the house. They lost their reputation. People stopped trusting them. My sister moved away, refusing to speak to them anymore. And I grew up. I studied hard, I worked harder. By the time I turned 18, I was successful, smarter, wiser, and more mature than my parents had ever been. Then one day, I received a letter. It was from my mother. She wrote, "We are sorry. Please come back. We need your help." I felt my heart twist. Part of me still remembered that little boy standing in the snow, crying, but another part of me remembered their cruelty. So I went back, not as a lost child, but as a grown person with power. When I walked into their old, broken apartment, they looked nothing like before. My father was tired, my mother looked defeated, and the house was empty and cold. They begged to forgive them. They said they regretted everything. They said they wished they had never sent me away. I listened silently. Then I spoke calmly. "I will not abandon you like you abandoned me, but I will never forget what you did." That was my revenge. Not anger, not punishment, but control over my own life. I helped them financially, enough to survive, but I did not let them control me again. I did not move back in. I did not let them guilt me. I chose boundaries, and that hurt them more than any harsh words ever could. Years later, during another Christmas dinner, this time in my own beautiful home, I sat at the head of the table, smiling, surrounded by people who truly loved me. And I realized something powerful. Sometimes the best revenge is not revenge at all. It is success. It is dignity. It is becoming everything they said you could never be. And as I looked at the candlelight that night, I silently thanked that cold Christmas evening, because it made me stronger than I ever imagined.